on this sirloin, I'm going to cut it a little differently than what you do in a grocery store. I'm going to pull a section off of here because it's so fat, and it's just, I'm going to kind of do it the way I was taught a lot of years ago by a guy that was a chef. He pulled this little cap piece off and cut it separately, because it's got a little different personality from the rest of the tri-tip. Yeah, we're just getting things kind of squared up and ready to roll here. This beef really is fat, but boy, that's nice, because, you know, with grass fattened beef, you want them to be nice and fat. That way they'll have some good flavor and tenderness to them. When you cut up a beef like this, you'll end up throwing a good third of it into the barrel. But the final product will be worth it all. Okay, I'm going to pause for just a minute and get the front quarter over here. Ready? Okay, here we go. We're going to do the same thing we did with the hind quarter, we're going to do with the front quarter. And cut that chuck section off. Carry this over to the saw. Section we're breaking off here now is the brisket. This section I took off here is part of the ribs. It's actually the best part. Got some nice stuff going for it. There were a lot of names in the old days. They used to refer to that as a kosher rib for some reason. I think it's just because it's a real valuable part of the rib section. It's just got good amount of meat on it. There's meat on it for a rib. This first rib I'm cutting off here because it really doesn't fit with the program. It doesn't work with all the rest of it. More of that beautiful fat I'm trimming off of here. It's nice hard fat. We've got our wrapper here with us now. Somebody that knows just to know what to do with it. Take that home and make it into a nice bar of soap or into a beautiful batch of French fries. And let's see. Before I get started on this chuck, I'm going to cut this first part of the neck bone off. It's called the atlas bone. It's the one that the head attaches to, and it's just easy to come off from this side. And let's see, there's another little piece on here that's kind of like almost like a tenderloin, but it's not. It's something that has to come off. It'll go into trim. Cut that off before I start cutting chuck roast. And on this beef, because it's divided 4 ways, I'm just going to get 4 chuck steaks, so 4 nice chuck roasts out of the middle. And this one end, I'm going to cut it off like so. And this one end, most of it's going to go in the hamburger, but there's a little piece of ribeye that I'm going to steal out of the middle of it. I'm going to use that to trade a little later in this process to make up for, in fact, I'll do it right now. There's only 2 tri-tips on the beef. So one of these 4 people is, or 2 of these 4 people are going to get tri-tips. And 2 of the others are going to get a nice little package of ribeyes that I kind of stole from the chuck. You can see they're not as big as the ribeye that are on the further up the rib section, but it's the same idea. They're still beautiful steaks, and they're every bit as tender. That'll make a nice package. And that'll go, like I said, we've got tri-tips going here. I got to get one more chuck. That other ribeye I promised you that's coming out of this chuck. What you're seeing today is you're seeing, by the way, I'm Bill, and we've got Freddie behind the camera, and we've got Diane over here that's doing the wrapping. Anyway, what you're seeing here is Bill's way of doing things. There's going to be some guys out there that do this for a living, and they're going to look at this and they're going to say, boy, that is the most backward way of cutting a piece of beef I've ever seen. But the rest of you guys don't know that. So you're going to think this is the right way because this is the way you've been shown. And this trade that is part of me has kind of shrunk up over the years. So I can kind of make my own rules if I want. Because that old timer that showed me how to do all this is long gone. So here we go. And as I promised, I said I was going to make 4 chuck roasts, and we're going to start with that right now. Not 4 total, it would be 8 total, 4 out of each side. Been hanging for a bit, so I'm going to have to kind of trim the bone up a little bit. And Diane, as I get these trimmed up, I'll have you scrape the dust off them and get them ready to wrap.